Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the March outlook for abundance and career for the sign of Capricorn. Now, my lovely Capricorns, let's get right into pulling out your animal spirits. For those of you who want to get a private reading or an answer to a question, you can check out my readings that I provide, tarot services that I provide at that link at the top of your screen. Please also follow me on Instagram. I do upload the daily outlook there on Instagram. All right, let's get right into your animal spirits, guys. We're going to pull out 2 animal spirit cards for March just to see, what the spirit of your month is going to be like when we're looking at your career and your abundance level, right? Show me what's up with Capricorn for March. Show me. All right, we have straight out the spider, earth energy, talking about following your dharma, and the hyena. Wow. Okay, so the hyena is an interesting animal spirit to have. Fire and earth for your career and abundance, Capricorn. Let's pull out the rest of your cards. We'll get right into those animal spirits in a minute. Show me Capricorn, abundance and career for March. Show me. Alright guys, we have straight out the center. Wow, it's a tower moment for you, Capricorn. Covered with the 6 of Pentacles, King of Cups. And at the bottom of the reading we have the World. 4 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Wow. Alright, so let's take a look at what's at the bottom of the deck. And the Devil is there at the bottom of the deck. Wow. All right, what a reading for you as far as abundance and career is concerned for March, Capricorn. Let's move this up just a little bit. You have a tower moment at the center with that 6 of Pentacles. Now, tower moments, a lot of people get quite nervous about them, but they're quite, they're good. Tower moments are good. It means that your awareness is expanding. Your understanding about life is expanding. Yes, it doesn't come without growing pains, but it is arriving. Let's take a look at your animal spirits first of all. Capricorn, you have spider and the hyena, earth and fire. The spider animal spirit is all about following a life of dharma, making sure that every decision you make, every move you make is in line with your moral or spiritual compass, right? Not compromising your principles, your ideals, right? And what happens is that when you have this kind of faith or this kind of commitment in the way you choose to live your life, certainly we're talking about the spiritual code that you adhere to or the moral code that you adhere to, your life, the decisions in your life will create a pattern because they're always attuned to the same sort of ideal. And this pattern provides support and strength, right? You can see the web there. The spider webs are renowned for being extremely strong, considering, how light they are and, compared to the material, they're extremely strong, very, very stable. And so this is what the spider does. He brings stability to his life, and he brings stability to his family, financially and spiritually, because of his adherence to his faith, right? His faith is unshakable. Now, the hyena is a fire animal spirit, and the hyena talks about really sort of dealing with a lot of insecurities, a feeling of inadequacy, or perhaps a feeling of being a bit of a failure on some levels, right? And this inadequacy or this lowered self-esteem can oftentimes make people who resonate with hyena energy just be like sort of cover it up with a lot of humor and wit and sarcasm. Hyena is the spirit of the hyena is the spirit of that, of humor, of joking all the time, making light of things, laughing at things. And a lot of times we're talking about laughing at things that aren't really that funny, or laughing in situations that aren't that funny. Oftentimes people who resonate with the spirit of the hyena, they're very difficult to communicate with or to even watch their behavior, because you can tell, most of the times you can tell fairly quickly that they are using this humor, this wit, this sarcasm, sometimes very biting sarcasm, to in fact cover up their own feelings of inadequacy and failure. Now, you could be dealing with somebody like that. You could be resonating with a little bit of that energy, right? And of course, the best way to deal with that is to really sort of take a good look at what your goals have been thus far, what you really have achieved, and where you feel as though you have not achieved what you desired, to pay, to look at that and fix it, right? The one thing with the spirit of the hyena, anybody who's resonating with that, it's just more sort of, they're more caught up in the embarrassment of what they perceive to be a failure than they are in sort of just addressing it and fixing it, right? And a lot of times that comes from a lack of belief that they can fix it. Again, it all goes back to sort of a lack of self-esteem. I have a feeling, Capricorn, that this is someone you may be dealing with at work, or somebody you may be dealing with in your business that's making it very difficult for you to communicate with them because they don't take anything serious, right? All right, let's get right into your actual cards. Tower moment and Six of Pentacles. Well, a tower moment is, of course, when a certain event comes in, a certain experience or an event comes in, oftentimes it feels as though it's divinely led, like it was meant to be. And it comes in and really topples and destroys everything that you held on to. It's like changes your whole outlook on something in life that you kind of thought you had all sussed out. The tower represents our beliefs, right? That structure represents our beliefs about ourselves and about society. And sometimes we hold on to those beliefs and they can almost be a form, a part of our identity, which is why when we have events coming into our life that prove or show us that maybe we didn't, maybe we had it wrong, right? Maybe these belief systems that we held on to weren't quite accurate, or we're now being, life is starting to prove that there's more to it than what we had thought, then those structures come tumbling down, and oftentimes we can find ourselves in a real state of confusion. Of course, the whole thing, though, is that it's very good for you ultimately, because it usually, of course, brings in understanding, but it allows you to rebuild that tower and make it bigger, more expansive, allow for more points of view, and allow for more experiences to help build an even better tower. Now, the Six of Pentacles is all about that feeling of having enough coming in as far as abundance and financial stability, that you can give some back. So not only is it a feeling of doing well and rewards coming in and having a certain amount of affluence, but along with that comes the desire to help others, or the desire to share some of your blessings with the rest of the world. It's a very harmonious attitude towards financial stability or financial abundance or career and business abundance. This is the, where Four of Pentacles can be the miser. Six of Pentacles is the person who is the benefactor. They may help you out of a situation. It could be that you're having a difficult situation right now at work or in your business, right? And that you're needing some help, right? Certainly if you're having a tower moment, because it can be that, when we're talking about career, something may have happened or occurred to show you that you need to change that business model, or you need to change that career path or that idea that you had, right? It could be that there were some issues that have come in, some problems that have been sort of brought to the light of day. But Six of Pentacles definitely indicates that there is someone, I feel like there is someone there who is willing to help you through this particular moment. It does feel to me like March might be a moment for you, Capricorn, where the finances aren't quite right where you'd like them to be. Remember, the spirit of the spider also brings financial stability, but he brings financial stability because he adheres to a higher code. And ultimately, his decisions sit right with him. His decisions are the right decisions for him and his family. And so naturally, with it comes strength and support and stability. And it could very well, it feels almost to me like you had faith in something, right? With this tower, you had faith in something with regard to your career or your business that you thought would work, and it didn't, and there's your tower moment. And coming to save the day is this Six of Pentacles, this individual or person who wants to sort of assist you through this situation. And again, like I said, I feel like it is a financial issue. Now, King of Cups at the top and World at the bottom. It could very well be that this King of Cups is the one who's there to help you. It could be, for some of you Capricorns, this could be a masculine individual or energy in your family who's looking out for you, who really cares for you. The King of Cups is certainly, the loving father, the loving grandfather, right? He's the one who takes care of the whole family because of his affection and care and love for them. He's the father and the husband, right? And it's strange because King of Cups is in the front of your mind, in the focus of your mind. It could I think very much for some of you, this is a case of a family issue coming into your business or your career. And you seeking that help from the family. Now, your tower moment may indeed be that while you're seeking help, it could be that they decided not to come through with it. That could be one of the, that could be an interpretation. Or it could be that, this tower moment is happening separate from that. That this tower moment is coming in March as a result of whatever the state of your career is at, or whatever the state of your business is at. And this King of Cups is the one who is coming in and acting as the Six of Pentacles benefactor, right? At the bottom of the spread, you have the World, and the World is in a position of your unconscious. So in the back of your mind, you're really trying to find your place right now. In the back of your mind, I think you feel like you are on the right track with a particular career, but the financial issues or the financial stability or support just was not there, or there was an upset in your career or your business. An example could be if the business, as a result of a certain decision, maybe you counted on something working or a product working or a system working, and that system broke down. Right? That system broke down for various reasons, and there's your tower moment, but yet you still need somebody there to help you financially. And so part of this World card being here is that I think that you're very much trying to find your place, or your business's place, your career place in your life, and how it fits into this world. But this tower moment is maybe making you doubt yourself a little bit, perhaps doubt the objectives that you had, right? An example could be like, if you have a certain idea, right, of something, a project or a business that you want to put out there, and it's something to do with people, or it's something to do with one section of our society, and you realize that what you wanted to do is not working, or what you wanted to sort of sell, or the service you wanted to provide was a service that nobody either wants, or the way you're providing it is not working out. It's not working the way you expected it to work. And so it's a real disappointment to you. And I think that this is definitely something that is very close to your heart. So again, this could be in the area of humanitarianism, or this could be in the area of helping the vulnerable. Yes, it is still a business, or yes, it is still a career path. And of course, you need to make money and be successful so that you can survive and live. But this feels to me like something that was very close to your heart, or is very close to your heart. And this March period, you're having to deal with the fact that there are a lot of issues there, you know, and perhaps the strategy that you set out or the way you thought it was going to go just hasn't gone that way. And it's really made you feel like doubting, you know, your whole premise, or maybe doubting how any of this fits into the world that you're trying to live in, or the I want to say the structure or the class system. You know, there's certain status levels that we're trying to fit into. It could be, you know, that you assumed that this was going to sort of blow up and bring a lot of cash or bring a lot of success, and when it didn't, it's making you even question your own judgment, or making you question your path. The world does, however, bring in with it the energy of fate kind of shining its eyes on you. And sometimes, and like I said, a tower moment is ultimately for your, you know, your future good. It's ultimately for, you know, progress, right? But right now, it almost feels as though like you know, like fate or destiny is forcing you to go through a little bit of a difficult time. It's forcing you to go through a period of some growing pains. This also feels like this could be a very new business, or a new career path that you're just setting off on. And it feels a little bit like you're having some growing pains in the beginning. Certainly there's definitely somebody there who's overseeing you in a way out of love and sort of caring for you. And it gives me a feeling that for some of you as well, you may be following in sort of the family footsteps with this business, right? It could be that your parents did this before you, or your father or your mother, and now you're kind of trying to follow in the footsteps of your family. You're trying to carry on the family business, and you're just finding yourself with some problems, or you're certainly finding yourself with some understandings coming in, some realizations this month coming in that are really sort of blowing your whole idea of the way things work, or the way life works, or the way business works. You may have even taken something for granted. You may have taken for granted that a certain amount of cash flow would be there. And this may be the lesson that you're learning. One of the biggest things that we do learn, certainly if you're running your own business, the first few businesses, you know, that may fail, you know, we don't usually pick up, you know, start a business and it's right away the first one successful, right? And so it could be that, you know, there may have been a few failures along the way, but it feels like this is all part of a lesson to sort of show you what is the best way to get this idea, this project, or this vision that you have off the ground. It can also be feeling very much like this is a testing period that is part of the path, right? Because it feels like a lot of what's happening right now is almost fated, almost destined. And though it's a little difficult with this Tower moment, on the one hand, it may be giving you some doubts, but yet on the other hand, for some of you, it feels very much like you're just being tested for something better. It's interesting because Four of Wands comes in and Ace of Wands. So there's definitely a love connection there that's impacting this path for you this March. It could be, again, it reminds me of a family business. You may be with a partner where you guys are lovers in a Four of Wands connection, and you are also business partners. And so you are also, you know, running this ship together, and this is having an impact on how it's working out. It could be that one of the Tower moments you're having right now is realizing that you may not be able to mix a personal relationship with a business relationship, right? But nevertheless, Four of Wands is there. And so coming into the month, your focus on a love connection is definitely in the front of your mind as related to your career, right? Remember, the spider talks about following its path, its moral center, in a lot of ways to provide stability for a family. So it provides financial and spiritual stability as far as the spider is concerned. So again, this could feel very much like a family endeavor where you guys have a certain ethos. You may have a certain sort of mentality. There may be certain ideals, right, that you're trying to press forward with. And so in March, when you realize that some of your ideas aren't working, the Tower moment is even more impactful, because I think, you know, this is certainly a reading for a Capricorn who's in, you know, a certain line of work that they're emotionally invested in. It feels, you know, that's very strong, important to you. that has a strong impact on you and how you see yourself fitting into the world, what your moral center is and what your ideals are. I wouldn't be surprised if if the career that you're in or the business that you're in is something to do with helping people, right? It could be a charitable field, it could be a humanitarian field, but it's something certainly that you feel very emotionally invested in, and you feel like it's going to make a change for the better, which is another reason why some of the difficulties that you're having now are difficult to accept, right? Some of the obstacles, they're going to be, and again, with this Tower moment, it's a shocker, right? You may have assumed that it could be an example. Could be assuming, say you're doing a fundraiser for your project, right? And the fundraiser, it's like you're doing a run or you're doing some kind of event, and you find out that nobody's interested. Nobody wants to sort of sponsor anyone. You're having difficulty getting the money for the fundraiser. And it's that kind of a Tower moment, it feels like to me. Like the kind of moment that it's just disappointing you on a spiritual or emotional level. You're just disappointed because you're finding out that maybe people aren't as giving as you expected them to, or it's not as easy to get them to give, right? And that you're going to have to work a lot harder. And I think this whole realization is something that's really impacting you, because whatever field you're in or area you're in, it's something that you feel strongly about. And I think in a lot of ways, you may have been assuming that the rest of the world should feel strongly about it too. And when they don't, there's your Tower moment. Right. And so because you're invested in this personally, emotionally, because it's something that is sort of pushing forward your ideals with regard to sort of your moral center, what you believe is right and wrong, and it's not working out, it feels personal, right? It feels very personal. It feels like that spirit of the hyena. It feels like a real sort of failure. And again, with this Four of Wands, it could be, like I said, that you're doing this with a partner or with a love interest, that you're both interested in it. And so, realizing that your vision is not working out the way you want it to is really painful. Ace of Wands comes in towards the end of the month, though. And this is a new opportunity to take your vision down a different path. Right. Ace of Wands, Wands is that fire, that new opportunity to follow your fire. And it can be that for you, Capricorn, you may have had a fire within you in the area of humanitarian work or charitable work or working for others. That's the fire. But the path that you've taken here, you're realizing maybe it just doesn't work. Maybe that idea just doesn't work. It's taking too much money. Now you need help. And so I think by the end of the month of March, Ace of Wands comes in because it's showing you a new opportunity or a new way to still get your same point across or to still achieve your same goal, but to do it in a different way, right? And so inspiration, I think, comes in by the end of the month to help you. The devil is here, and so it can be that you have the devil at the bottom of the deck. It can be that you have certain influences around you that are not sort of conducive for your success. You may be having people around you that are causing you to make certain decisions that that aren't working for your business or that aren't working for your career progression, right? But you're listening to them and they're giving their 2 cents, right? They're putting their energy into it, but it could be causing a lot of sort of confusion, right? Misunderstanding, or it could be that somebody is using your business vehicle or your business model for a different objective, which is not the same objective that you have. And that might be one of the reasons why you're having a Tower moment, Another, like an example, say you work in a company and, the board is, everyone in this one department is trying to decide how to move this one sort of, issue forward, this one service, this one product, whatever the project is, forward. And again, it is a humanitarian project, right? Say you're working in a company that's building low-income housing somewhere, right? And you've been working towards this ideal, And then you find out that the other people you're working with on this project, that they're not really concerned with how much housing they can build. They're kind of, you find out that they're actually more concerned with how much money they can make out of the situation. It feels like something like that. Right? And then when you realize that everybody isn't on the same page, you're having that tower moment. Or it could be that somebody in your organization maybe has been, stealing or doing something like that, doing something really negative to bring about the failure. And so now you're having to reach out to family to ask for more help or to ask for money. There's definitely some kind of negative interference going on here with your career path or with your business that is not only hurting your heart because of the nature of your business or the nature of your path, but it's also showing, it's also a feeling of failure, a feeling of having to reach back out to the family and say, look, I need more money. It didn't work out. The King of Cups is there looking, saying, all right, are you, there may be a feeling of the King of Cups not being kind of disapproving. Again, this could be a masculine patriarchal figure in your life who's willing to help you financially because out of their love for you. But again, it's like saving you in this situation where you have to deal perhaps with some of the other negative energies that are, seeking to undermine you. Clarity, 5 of Swords. So there you go. Somebody is having a power struggle with you, and it's really working against 9 of Wands. It's really working against your ultimate goal for this month with regard to your business and career. There's justice coming in. So now we see it could be some of you waiting for and there's your 4 of Pentacles. Interesting. Bottom of the cup is 6 of Cups. Bottom of the deck is 6 of Cups. So it really does feel, let me move this out the way and put this there. It really does feel like, you guys, some of you Capricorns, it feels like you started some kind of endeavor out of love. You may have started it with a partner, a husband or a wife, right? The ultimate goal or the ultimate endeavor, the purpose, the objective of it was something certainly to help people or something that was a humanitarian focus, right? But negative energies have come in to derail it. Money issues have come in to derail it. And a lot of what's happened is fighting over who's the best. There's a power struggle there in terms of, it can be that, you've been arguing with someone or you've been in a power dynamic with someone because they're the ones who want to be in charge and they're willing to do whatever they can to be in charge. They may be willing to sort of stab you in the back or show you up, make you look bad in front of the other staff or what have you. And it feels like a real sad, it feels like a difficult situation because to me, Capricorn, it's almost as if like, you had this vision of helping people, but the actual mechanics of the job or the work or the actual relationships that you're having with the other people that you're working with on this endeavor is negative. And not all of them have the same sort of moral center that you have. Not all of them have the same outlook that you have. Some of them are not taking it serious, right? Some of them are resonating with that spirit of the hyena and they're just not they're laughing, they're not, they're being very sarcastic about everything. They're not really taking your vision serious. And here you are trying to live a life of dharma in the sense that with that spider energy, you're not trying to have a business where, the decisions you're making are against your moral code. 5 of Swords indicates defeat, right? And then you have this King of Cups here. Now, this King of Cups could indeed be someone that you are looking to help you with the 6 of Pentacles in terms of financially, someone who cares about you. But it could also be your mate. Because with this 4 of Wands here, again, this reminds me of a husband-wife business that fell apart because of the relationship between a husband and wife not being strong enough. Or, you guys are two lovers or you're in a love connection, you have this business together, and it's like It could be that this King of Cups represents that partner for you, and yet still you are unable with this Five of Swords to meet in the middle. There's a constant battle with them, you know. You almost sort of give up. Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck is letting you know that you're still kind of in a difficult patch here. You know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's going to require a lot of work to carry on working through this to get to that end of the tunnel. Right now, there's a lot of problems you're having to deal with in this field or in this area of your life. Some of you may have even had to sell the business because of this falling out, right? And divvy, you know, separated up. Whatever the case may be, the connection, the union that this path started with has somehow become adulterated or has gone negative. Adjustment comes in, which is balance over that Four of Wands. So it could very well be balance is coming in and is necessary. Again, it feels like a love connection that went sort of out of balance, that went to an extreme, where the fact that you two were together has absolutely impacted the business in some way, and now things are out of balance. They need to be brought back in balance. Some of you may even be caught up in a court decision. That could be, for instance, if you were married and you had a business together, now you're sort of battling in court because maybe you were getting divorced. Right? Ace of Wands is covered by that Four of Pentacles. And Four of Pentacles is a desire to reestablish a power and authority. Right? Four of Pentacles earlier is what I said. And Four of Discs is that feeling of greediness, miserliness. And that always comes from a fear of losing what you've built up. And so by the end of the month, you're going to be right back to sort of brass tacks. You know, Ace of Wands is like, okay, I'm going to sort of come up, you know, I have a new opportunity to follow my passion, and I need to make sure to stabilize and maintain my financial stability, right? I can't make the same decisions that I made here. And I think a lot of the mistakes of these, or make the same mistakes and decisions that I made here, and I think a lot of the mistakes that you were making up until now that's caused this Tower moment is the fact that you were in business with a lover or a husband and wife or what have you, and somehow the whole thing has gotten really sort of so far from what you originally wanted. And now by the end of the month, you're finding yourself having to come up with new ways to reestablish that financial stability and that financial support. Yeah, what can I say? And the devil is there, you know, tempting you to a certain degree. You know, this is that negative energy that's coming in. And a lot of times devil energy can come into a lover work situation because, you know, if you're working with, if you are in a relationship with someone who is somewhat toxic or, you know, who doesn't have the same mentality as you, and you also work with them, there is a real sort of codependency, which is the devil, what the devil is all about. There's a real sort of opportunity for a toxic codependent relationship. There's also an opportunity for them to manipulate, you know, and to manipulate the situation and take advantage of the fact that you guys have a romantic connection, to manipulate you or take advantage of that for the sake of gaining more financially with the business. This is a bit of a mess, Capricorn, and it involves certainly somebody who is waking up this month to a big realization about how people are, and it's impacting your career or your business because you are so emotionally invested. This is certainly for a Capricorn who may be working in a field of humanitarian work or charitable work. And those are businesses too. I mean, it's still a business. You still need to bring in funds, right? You still have objectives. You still have stakeholders, etc. And so this March, it's going to be all about cleaning that house up. Right? Some of you building back up your stability from the ground after having lost it with this Tower moment. And for some of you, you are indeed waiting perhaps for a judgment or a decision coming in through court that's going to decide this situation. You may indeed be going through a divorce and your whole sort of career, your business is extremely impacted by that. And you really won't know where you go, where you are able to go going forward until the end of the month with this Ace of Wands and Four of Pentacles, which is a real feeling of perhaps starting again with a new opportunity away from whatever this love connection was that you had that really impacted the outcome of this business. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your reading for March for Capricorn. It is definitely a reading with a lot of sort of, I don't want to say complications, but it's a bit of a mess. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that love and business were mixing on a very sort of intense level. And there's your tower moment, realizing that people don't always have the same vision. People don't always have the same level of belief, conviction, commitment, whether it be to the love connection or the business that you are sharing. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Go ahead and check out your other readings, which are linked in the description. Follow that link at the top of your screen if you want to get a private reading, or if you just want to get an answer to a question. Tarot Answers is the best way. You can just book that. That's a 10-minute pre-recorded tarot reading that I provide for you the same day to answer one of your questions. But for right now, Capricorn, have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month for your career and abundance outlook. Bye-bye now.